Okay, how many times have you been like in the crawl space,
Oh, yeah.
the attic, the closet? You probably have things in your basement or somewhere, maybe from your mom or dad or your grandparents, and you're afraid to throw them out.
Right.
Right? What if they're worth something?
I spend more time at garage sales because of this individual who's about to join us. Cris Drugan hears all this all the time. Cris is an accredited personal property appraiser with Emerald Art Services.
Hi, Cris.
Thank you so much for being here.
Are these treasures?
They're treasures.
Are they really? Because you look at them and you're like, oh, they look pretty cool, but we can't wait to dive in. So what are we going to start with first?
We're going to start with the print over here. This is a print. Talk about the words on the bottom of the print.
Okay.
Is what a lot of people get mixed up with.
All right. Well, the process, I mean, you see something like this, someone brings this to you, or you go to something like this.
And that's what I was curious too. Did somebody just, here it is, and you knew what it was?
Right.
Or?
They bring things in, and they ask what they are, because most people don't know what things are.
Okay.
That's
we
me.
know it's a print, but
That
we
would be
don't
me.
know.
They get them from somebody, or they
Right.
buy them at an auction or a yard
Both of
sale,
us.
Yeah.
and they don't know what they are.
right, so
and they
what-
want to find out what they are.
That's a pretty picture. I mean, come on, it's a nice print.
It's a nice print.
Right.
On the bottom left, what you'll normally find on these type of prints are the edition number.
Okay.
And the edition numbers indicate how many prints there were done.
So that's what we're looking
One
at.
of
That's what
11.
you're looking
so there were
at.
11 prints done. This
So
is number 1.
This is 11 of 12.
Oh, okay. You do the math. Very good. I appreciate that,
They
Cris.
use Roman numerals on this one.
Okay. Oh, I see. Got it. Thank you. Gotcha.
Okay.
All
They
right.
used Roman numerals on this one.
Joe, I was right there with you.
Okay.
And the words are approved d'artiste, and what that is that's French for artist proof.
Really?
And what those are is the artist will print off 100 pieces, and every 10 the artist will come in, look at the print and say, yeah, it's still printing right, it's still printing good.
Oh, I see.
You can print more.
Is that worth a lot of money?
These are traditionally worth more than the ones that do not say artist proof on them.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. So it's like a seal of approval.
It's like a seal of approval
Got
from
it.
the artist on these.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. Like, if I'm bringing in something that I treasure from my grandma or grandpa, I mean, I don't care how much it's worth. I'm keeping it.
Right.
I mean, that's just me. Do people tend
Right.
to keep these things? Or
Yeah,
are these-
they have a tendency to keep them whether they're valuable
It
or
was just
not.
more curiosity.
I need to know how much is something like this worth. Not that I would sell it, but I probably would. Just so you.
That print is about $350.
Really?
I mean, who knew?
Wow.
And who would know?
And again, when you're shopping and you're looking around at garage sales and thrift stores, this is the kind of treasure that you're looking.
Right. The middle of the print sometimes will have the title on it,
Okay.
and that's what you see there in the middle.
These are other clues that this might be something.
Right.
Okay.
Un jour de fête, which is the feast. As you can see from the print, there's wine bottles and corkscrews and candles.
So as a tip here on It's About You, start writing in Roman numerals and sign things in French.
I mean, I'm just curious, like, at what point do you pick something up in the attic crawl space and say, this is worth getting appraised? You know, you've brought a couple
great
examples, but,
question.
you know, at
Well,
what
when you-
point?
When you start seeing things written on the bottom of the print,
Okay.
that's an
So
indication
artwork
that
is
it's
one.
a little bit better.
Artwork is like
one.
a big one.
If there's nothing written on the bottom, it's pretty much like a poster print.
Right.
It
Right.
wouldn't have the value to it.
Okay, our next item is, well, pretty intriguing to say the least.
It's a Japanese sword.
Okay.
We're not going to touch it.
I want to.
There's a lot of different types of Japanese swords.
Okay.
And they range in value from a couple $100 to tens of thousands of dollars.
See, now that's what can make you crazy because you're like, oh my goodness, this could
So-
be, and
Right.
only
Now-
someone like you, an accredited appraiser, knows the stuff.
And
Correct.
how do you look at something like this? Because to me, this just looks like a dingy old sword. I'm
To me,
so
it looks
sorry.
like something awesome that needs to be on the wall.
I'm
so
not
everyone-
trying to offend, but like, how do you know
Yeah.
this is worth something?
Well, there's certain swords are made of stamp. They stamp the metal.
Okay.
It's just a stamped blade.
Okay.
And a lot of times those are used for the parade swords. And
So what are we looking at here,
And
Cris?
for non-commissioned officers. This is actually the signature on this sword. The
I see.
signature is on the bottom of the blade
yeah, if you
below
look
the
really
handle.
close on
If
your
you
screen
take it
there,
out,
yeah.
that's the signature of the artist. This is actually a handmade blade.
Wow.
The artist actually forged this blade.
And that's a good thing.
That's a
Made
good
it.
thing.
He
That's a
made
good
it.
thing.
So when you forge a signature, that's a bad thing. But when you forge a sword,
Forge a sword is a good thing.
that's a very good thing. Got it.
This artist is Nidai Minamoto Yoshichika. He worked wartime period, World War II, from 1920 to 1940.
Wow. I mean, that's a lot of history.
It is a lot of history, and I think
So
the more
cool.
history, maybe
And
the
there's
more
swords
value.
that go back hundreds of years that I've appraised.
What
So
would be the appraisal of that sword right there, Chris?
about $2,500.
Great.
Okay, very nice.
Let's get to the wine.
Let's do it.
I'm curious. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Is this something that you could find at a random store, or is this something given to somebody
Maybe has some dust
from
on it in the
Grandpa
wine rack.
in the wine rack years ago?
These are available when they come out, when they release them.
All
When they
right.
release the vintages, these are available. This is a Magnum size bottle,
Holly,
which
you
is
should know that.
actually equal to 2 bottles of wine.
We call that Holly size. Okay.
Right.
All right.
A lot
When
of
I'm being
people
really
ask me on
responsible.
appraising these if you need to taste them. No, you don't need to open the wine to taste it to be able to appraise them.
That would be a bad thing.
That would
wouldn't
be a
it?
bad thing.
Okay.
If you
so
opened it, you'd ruin the value.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But the appraiser would be happy, but nobody else.
Right.
Gotcha.
So we use tasting notes.
Okay.
We use vintage notes
Gotcha.
to be able to appraise it, and also the condition of the wine when we look at it. If you look at the color, you can see actually when you hold this up to a light, you can see the color of the wine through the green bottle.
Does wine
If
go bad? I mean,
Wine goes bad.
Okay.
Wine
I think
will
it
go
turns
bad.
to vinegar
Yeah,
eventually.
it will
from
go
what my
bad.
grandpa tells me.
I would imagine he just doesn't want you to taste that particular
Right.
bottle.
Or that.
This is bad.
Right.
I'll keep this one.
But a lot of things
This
go
is
into these.
fascinating.
Yeah.
The bottle fill, how high the wine is up into the neck of the bottle,
Uh-huh.
the foil condition, the label condition, it all goes into appraising a bottle of wine.
How high can you go with a bottle of wine? I mean, are we talking thousands, hundreds?
We can go thousands of dollars on a bottle of wine.
Oh.
That particular
And then
one?
if there's history of wine behind it too,
Oh.
the Thomas Jefferson bottles,
like
and
that.
you're buying a name.
What's the value of that particular one?
This one is about $120.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
a lot of cash.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot
Thank
of
you
cash.
so much. For more information, if you want to get in touch with Chris, my goodness, please do emeraldartservices.com, or you can call 234-202-8686.
Chris, thank you.
Thank
This
you.
was so
Appreciate it very much.
educational and
Thanks.
interesting.
Thanks.
This segment of It's About You was furnished by Emerald Art Services.